Welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you've tuned in. This segment brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Laborers Local 663, Shelter Insurance Agents Grant Baker in Aurora, Sean Holman in Lockwood, the Bank of Billings, the Missouri State Highway Patrol, and Doak Propane, along with Great Southern Bank. And we welcome to the show second appearance here in episode number 160, the head coach of the Hannibal Pirates football team, Jeff Gschwender. And Coach, congratulations on making it this far in the postseason, 11-0.
Oh, thank you. It's been fun. Kids are working hard.
You bet. And we'll go back and talk a little bit about these two previous games here with Warrenton and Jeff City. Here, 76-6 and 47-0. That's the second time you face Jeff City, and there's always a danger. You look at Carthage Webb City and that rematch and how that shook out. What was kind of your premise going into that second round with Jeff City?
We just made sure we really preached to the kids that this is not the same Jeff City that we saw week 2. Coming into the season, Jeff City was in a completely new style of offense, and we're doing a lot of different things. So they're still figuring stuff out. Well, by the time we got to them last week, they had it figured out. They knew those kids were playing very well, especially up front. And we handled it like we prepared for it like a brand new team. And the kids, again, Jeff City was a very well coached team. So you always worry about having to beat a team twice in a season, and especially with a team that's as well coached as Jeff City. They vastly improved from that week 2 matchup. And, we just prepared our kids just like it was a brand new team and, came out, kids practiced hard all week, kids played hard Friday night and executed really well.
Well, and you haven't been able to sneak up on anybody all year. I mean, you get a week 1 54-20 win over a very good Helias Catholic team, and you guys have just kind of kept it rolling. Now you're going into the quarterfinals with a very good 10-1 West Plains team. What do you know about the Zizzers?
Well, they're a very good team. They got a ton of size. They're very well coached. They run their system very well. A lot of those kids have been in were on that team last year. That was a very talented team. Quite a few of them, and they're all back this year, and they're a big physical team and a very well coached team. So when you get those things, you always know it's going to be a challenge. They're a very talented team that have been able to put a ton of points on the board and have been able to keep a lot of their opponents way down on points. So it's going to be a fun game. We're really excited about it, and this is what it's all about. You get this deep in the season, and everybody out there is a very good, well-coached team. So, when you add their size and athleticism with, the stuff they're doing and as disciplined they are and as well-coached they are, it's going to be a good one.
Again, we're visiting with Jeff Gschwender, the head football coach of the Hannibal Pirates, as they prepare for the West Plains Zizzers. And Coach, what are your biggest concerns going into this game? I mean, is weather a concern? What are some of the concerns that you have?
Just main thing is that we stay disciplined. The kids just execute the way that we've coached them to all week, and that they're recognizing what's going on. They're recognizing some of the different formations and those types of things. So, as far as concerns, not that there's no concerns, there's always concerns with every single team that you play, but it really just comes down to we're really just working on coaching our kids to be good tacklers. Obviously they have some very talented kids that have the ball in their hands. That quarterback, he's something else, and he's been top level for the past 2 years, and I don't know if he started sophomore year or not, but we've paid attention to him over the last 2 years, and that kid can play, And obviously, they got a running back receiver, number 40 out there. That is, he's just a hoss. And not only that, he's got some serious speed too. So, and a running back on the other side of the ball, lines up receiver, comes back at running back quite a bit, number 23. And they got a couple of receivers that can catch the ball. 19's big, tall guy who's got some really good speed as well. We've seen that with some of the track times and track and field during the spring, but. They just have they just have a great group of good physical athletic kids. Obviously their size up front is a concern for everybody they play. Having big guys up front that are physical is always a very good thing to have. So, it's just a case of our kids coming out and playing the game and doing what they're coached and coming out prepared.
As you look at your schedule and the film, the time that you spent watching them on film, is there someone on your schedule that you played this year that you can kind of compare them to a little bit?
As far as talent wise, probably not as a full group. We've seen some big running backs with some really good speed and battle. We've also seen some really big offensive linemen, not only with Elias and Jeff City, but, battle also. Kirksville was extremely big up front. But the combination of those things and their physicality and what they do with the ball, there's not a whole lot of teams like him. And if you see them on film, they run primarily an empty backfield. Yeah. And they're motioning back here quite a bit. But empty backfield with a wing quite a bit that plays as another back. When you motion back there, it sets it up into more of a 2-back set, so, it's just, it's an offense that you really don't see very often at all, and the plays they run, we've seen some stuff as far as a lot of the sweeps and stuff that they do. Quite a few teams in our conference, they ran some of that stuff, but the stuff that we've seen was a completely different look. It was more of the wing T style and those types of things. So, it's they run a great offense, and it's obviously is a great offense because they put a ton of points on the board. So, it's obviously going to be a different look for us. But as far as comparing it to some of the teams that we've played, as a whole, there's really no one that you compare that to. But some of the individual stuff that they have, we've seen some things kind of similar to it. But again, we saw 4 or 5 teams in our conference that ran primarily the exact same offense as each other, and we just prepare for them, each of them, as a whole new deal, and that's really what you have to do. And that's really what we're doing this week too, regardless if we've seen some of these plays or seen backs and stuff similar, it's a whole new game with a whole new team and a very, very talented team.
And Coach, talk a little bit about just the benefit of getting to play at home. There's probably one of 2 matchups where one team is driving 5 or 6 hours. When you look at Monroe City having to go to Hayti and, West Plains coming to you, and this game is actually still on Friday night, but it's at your home park. What does that mean? What are the benefits there playing at home?
Well, obviously, the 5-hour bus trip, that helps out a lot, even though, we've traveled quite a bit, and a lot of our opponents, they're a pretty decent sized travel, and we usually play pretty well on the road. There's a little bit less distractions whenever you're on the road besides just the trip, but, being able to play at home and having that home crowd behind us, can really get the kids fired up. And not only that, just, being able to do our typical home game routine is really what helps out, even though we have traveled, some pretty decent distances, a 5-hour bus trip is, something you kind of have to prepare for, and you have to kind of, get your kids ready for it and everything, and know that yeah, it's a 5-hour bus trip, but once we get off that bus, it's go time, and so really, as well coached as they are, I don't think that's going to affect them at all, and it's just nice that we don't have to make that bus trip.
You bet. I was a little bit surprised that they left that game on Friday night, but I guess I can understand it because you probably have to go up Friday, and stay in a hotel, maybe get kids a lither bit out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, and even if we had to travel, I think I would have done the same thing, just keeping that Friday routine. And that's the main thing, is just, really pressing to the kids that it's another game. You keep the same routine that you've been successful with all year long. And it keeps them sleeping in their own bed the night before. And, if you're fortunate enough to win, it gives you that extra day of preparation for the next week. So.
Well, outstanding. Well, Coach Gschwender, we certainly appreciate you being part of the show, and then maybe have an opportunity to visit next week as you head into the semifinals.
Yeah, that'd be great. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it all works out. But that's why we play a game. It's going to be a good one.
All right. Hey, well, good luck, and we'll be following along for sure.
All right. Thanks.
You bet. You're listening to and watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Back after this.